Hello, parents, and welcome back to Parent Shift, a place where we speak about conscious parenting. Modern children are really not weak because they were born weak. Many modern children are weak because our families have been prioritizing comfort over a strong character. And that is a big problem. Now, on the other side, many parents today are asking a very painful question about bad habits that some of these weak children carry. And the question is, why does my child know the right thing but still keeps doing the wrong things? Why is it that I have explained the right things, teachers have explained the right things to the child, but the child keeps doing the wrong things again and again? Many children know today that screen time is very bad, but the screen time continues. Many children know today that shouting is wrong, but shouting continues. Many children know today that homework has to be done, studies have to be done, sports have to be done on time. Waking up has to be done on time, sleeping has to be done on time, but the delays continue. The child, in fact, knows that sleep is very important. They feel well rested when they sleep, but the late night continues. The child knows that junk food every day is harmful. In fact, they have experienced it in their body and mind, but the craving still continues. Why? So the real question is not why does my child not understand? The real deeper question is why has bad behavior become stronger than understanding and choices? That's the question we need to ask. I'll repeat that for you. Why have bad behaviors become stronger than understanding and choice? They understand, but they're not able to choose, right? And this is where most of us as parents make a big, serious mistake. The big, serious mistake that we make is we think our shouting, our scolding, our threatening, our emotional speeches, especially the emotional speeches, our lecturing, that is going to change. But bad habits really don't live in the ear of the child. The bad habit lives in the entire physiology of the child. The bad behavior lives in the child's body. The bad behavior lives in the child's nervous system. The bad behavior lives in the child's routine. The bad behavior lives in the reward cycle, in the relationship between us and the child. The bad behaviors are in the samskaras, the value systems, the character of the child, and the samskaras of the parents and the samskaras of the household. That is why shouting is not going to change. There are several studies which have shown significant consequences of bad habits. Teenagers being addicted to screen time, and those same teenagers then having infrequent physical activity, infrequent strength training, infrequent sleep, and all host of other things, along with weight concerns, which is such a big issue today. This means that the screen time is not just time wasted, it is so many other things. And those so many other things are attached to the lifestyle itself. Another study shows how screen time is attached to anxiety, depression, ADHD like symptoms, conduct problems, and so many other such things. So we in front of us have a lot of evidence that there is interconnected issues. But what do we choose to do? We choose to pretend that by punishing, shouting, screaming, yelling at the child, things are going to change. Let us stop pretending that a child sitting quietly with a screen is harmless. Let us stop pretending that the child doing something that it wants to do is harmless. Let's stop pretending that the child making choices, and in the name of making those choices, not following a system, is harmless. Some of this is what is creating big issues. Because when we possibly let that child sit quietly with the device, or when we let the child break the system, or when we let the child make whatever choices that it has to make, we are training the child's nervous system for addiction. That's what we are doing. An addiction to bad habits. This is how bad habits develop in children. And this is why it's so difficult to change. So how are bad habits developing? Let's understand the science of this. The first reason bad habits develop and become very difficult to stop is bad habits give rewards faster, Good habits give rewards very slow. A reel, 3-second gratification. A video game, 10 minutes, 15-minute, 30-minute gratification. Junk food, instant gratification. Anger, immediate emotional release and gratification. Laziness, oh my God, comfort. That's a gratification all the time for just about everybody. But then look at studies, results much later. Look at exercise, strength developed much later. Look at respect, trust earned much later. Look at prayers, steadiness earned much later. Look at reading, wisdom coming much later. So the modern child, in fact, the modern human, the modern family is pulled towards fast reward, instant gratification. And that's the one big problem. Because fast reward feels good now. Slow reward feels boring and energy draining. That is why not just children, but humans also today say, I know, but I don't feel like it. That's the big problem. So the first reason why bad habits are entering and becoming so difficult to handle is because of this issue where bad habits work faster and good habits take time. The second reason is that why bad habits are becoming so difficult to change is parents are fighting the behavior, not the environment. Parents are in fact protecting the environment. You're telling the child don't use the phone, but the phone is always available. In fact, along with the phone, privacy is available where the phone can be further used. You are saying sleep early, but there is no evening discipline in the household itself. You yourself don't have the discipline. You're saying don't eat junk, but every now and then everybody is ordering junk or junk is stored at home. You're saying be respectful, but right from the adults, nobody talks respectfully at home. Everybody is rude to somebody or the other. You're telling the child study properly, but around the child, notifications, nonsense, and never-ending modern life preoccupations, including the father and mother at home being constantly distracted. Where will the child study properly? There is no study culture at home. This is absolutely like firewood kept in the home, and then you're telling the fire, don't go near the firewood, don't go near the firewood. The fire is not going to listen. Fire loves firewood, and that's what is going to happen. The behavior is not the problem, the environment in the problem is the problem, and parents need to fix the environment and not the child. The child will get fixed once the environment is fixed. When there is no firewood, the fire would go out. The third reason why bad behavior is becoming much, much difficult to change and the nervous system is used to is emotional reward. Children are using bad behavior as the power. The moment the child shouts, the parents become scared and on the back foot. The child cries, the rule changes. The child refuses food and everybody's like, oh my God, the child will become malnutritioned or will lose energy or lose focus. Everybody runs behind the child. The child argues, parents are exhausted. How much do we talk? How much do we explain? The child becomes silent, everybody becomes tense. Oh my God, hope the child doesn't do anything wrong now. Slowly, the child learns my bad behavior controls this household, controls everybody. And that is not a good place to be. This is not because the child is evil. It's simply because the family system has accidentally rewarded the worst behaviors of the child. Somebody or the other does it, either the mother or the father. Often the parents are not jointed up in their effort towards the child. One tries to play the good cop and the bad cop. That itself is failure of parenting. Or then you have the grandparents spoiling the child. Doesn't work this way. You have to have a focus of not yielding at all to bad behavior. The fourth reason, and this is where the ancient Vedic wisdom says tapas has to be there in each one of us, which is consistent effort. Tapasya is what? Tapasya is consistent effort. That consistency is missing in all our households from human race itself today. Tapas means the capacity to bear the necessary discomfort for a long period of time. And that's what is consistency. So consistency is what? Consistency is the capacity to bear discomfort while you're working on something. Waking up early requires tapas and consistency. Exercising requires tapas and consistency. Study requires tapas and consistency. Saying no to all kind of temptations, that requires tapas and consistency. Apologizing requires tapas and consistency. Respecting others requires tapas and consistency. Good behavior requires tapas and consistency. Come on, sitting quietly in one place, which children can't do, that requires tapas and consistency. In fact, most of us as humans cannot sit quietly in one place today without touching a device. Doing the right thing requires tapas and consistency, and we are all missing it. The modern home is missing tapas and consistency because we have piled comfort after comfort after comfort after comfort for us. And when the child is being given comfort, this is what happens. The child is bored, give them a screen. The child is sad, give them food. The child is angry, give in. The child is tired, remove some responsibility. The child complains, cancel the rule or cancel some this thing. The child is saying, oh, I want some change. My friends are doing this. Take the child on a vacation. Or child says, oh, you haven't got me something in a long time. There you go. The next gift arrives. Then after 10 years, the parents ask, why does my child not take responsibility, or why does my child not have willpower? This is the reason. You have not built that at home. You have not built the whole tapas and consistency at home. That's why there is no responsibility taking. That is why there is no willpower. In our Bhagavad Gita, Sri Krishna has said this so beautifully that Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagya cha grihatya. So when he says Abhyasen, what does he mean? And he's addressing Kaunteya, who's Arjuna. He says, through Abhyasa, which is practice, and Vairagya, which is detachment, cha grihatya, which means the mind is brought under control. This is one of the greatest parenting principles that we must follow, that we have to have repeated practice, repeated detachment. Only then will the right things happen. The mind is not controlled by one lecture. The mind is going to get controlled with Abhyasa, repeated practice. The mind is not going to get controlled by lecture. The mind is going to get controlled by Vairagya, which is a detachment from pleasures and comforts of life. And that's where parents need to fix things. So, if these are the things which are creating all the bad habits, what should parents do? Here are a few simple things that you should do consistently as parents. Number one, ruthlessly attack the environment, not the child. Fix the environment. If the screen addiction is the problem, remove the devices from the bedroom and all accessible places. Keep charging points outside, etc. If bad food is the addiction, remove it. If bad habits are the problem, then fix the habit, fix the environment around those bad habits. If sleep is an issue, build discipline in the household around sleep. So attack the environment ruthlessly. This is the only way you can protect sleep, attention, family conversation, study optimization, whatever it is. It is also the best way to stop the child's brain from linking life and all these things which are around. So because if you give accessibility to the child is going to use it, and then it's going to be very difficult for you to explain why is something accessible and not to used. Right? So attack the environment, cleanse the environment. Second, every household must create a physical discipline for every person, including the child. Now, the child must start at least with the day with at least some physical movement, exercise. Throughout the day, there must be at least 1 or 2 hours of sports, yoga, running, swimming, and throw in a little bit of music, art, dance, whatever the child likes. Once in a while, throw in a little bit of outdoor play with some sensible friends and some sensible company. Much better would be to get the child into some team sports. And an impact of this is what physical activity is not just for fitness, it's for the brain, it's for the nervous system. It kills the child's restlessness, improves its mood, builds strength, reduces laziness, reduces anxiety, reduces tension, teaches the body and mind to integrate and put a lot of effort. Tapas and consistency comes from here. A child who sweats daily will become much less fragile. A child who's disciplined daily will not at all be fragile. So make the child to sweat daily and discipline the child every day. That's very important. Third, and take this exclusively, fix sleep at home. And this needs to be for the household itself. But all children, especially children aged to 6 to 12, they need to sleep about 10 to 12 hours. Teenagers, they need to sleep at least 8 to 10 hours. So bedtime has to be a rule, and that has to be fixed. Fixed bedtime, fixed waking hour, that is the only rule that needs to be carried out. And the work and family needs to adjust around this. What point is all your corporate late working or business late working and parties if you cannot build a healthy, disciplined household? I think more than socializing outside for your next promotion or influence is to make sure that you come home and make sure that your home is disciplined. Bedtime cannot be treated casually. Poor sleep makes children more irritable, impulsive, distracted, hungry, emotionally reactive, and whatnot. A lot of that bad behavior is sitting in the bad sleep of the child. Fourth is, like I said earlier, stop rewarding bad behavior. If they shout, don't give them the phone. If they cry, don't change the rule. If they disrespect, don't end the conversation. If they do all sorts of drama, don't give in and let the drama grow. Don't yield. Get the right things done. That's it. You have to be patient, you have to be calm, you have to be respectful. And if they still don't buckle to respect, then revoke privileges, bring consequences. That is the way to get them to yield. Sooner or later, they will understand that you will not yield. And that will impact their bad behavior like nothing else. Not yielding to their demands will produce benefits like nothing else. It'll reverse the conditioning of the nervous system like nothing else. Fifth, replace habits immediately. This is the other thing that you need to do, right? Like instead of saying, don't watch a screen after dinner or don't do this, you say, okay, after dinner, we're going to go for a walk. Replace it. Or we have to have a family conversation. Or instead of saying, don't shout, you say, repeat what you said with a lot of respect and explain yourselves correctly. Instead of saying, don't waste time, say, sit here for 20 minutes and finish these 5 things. And I want this level of quality from it. Instead of saying, don't lazy, you have to say, stand up, do these 3 things, and then come back here. I will give you another set of things. A new habit has to replace the old habit. Whereas the old habit going out is going to leave vacuum, and children are very restless when there is vacuum. So instead of not doing anything, they'd rather do something. And if there's nothing positive to do, they'd rather do the negative things. That's why replace negative habits with positive habits is very, very important. And that brings us to building tapas through small discomforts. So whether it is the first rule where you change the environment and get the child adjusted to a new environment, or the second one, which is you introduce a physical habit for the child, or you fix the sleep for the child, or you stop rewarding bad behaviors and get the child to yield, or you replace the bad behavior with the good behavior. All of these small little changes continuously add to the tapas and the discomforts at home, which will build the child's character. Along with that, do a lot of things that will build the child's integrity and connection to the home. Let the child carry its own bags or others' bags. Let the child clean. Get the child to help in household chores. Let the child wait, sit quietly. Don't let it loose. Let the child hear a lot of no's. Let the child finish boring tasks, especially, every season pick up 1 or 2 things which the child has to do continuously for 6 to 12 months. Make the child apologize. Make the child serve elders. Take care of elders. Very important. Make the child take care of pets, nature, gardening. Small discomforts train the child to face big challenges in life. In fact, small little chores finished are also tasks accomplished and results achieved. That builds the character of achieving results in life. A child who's protected from every discomfort becomes an angry, selfish, entitled child, moody child, which behaves just the way it wants to behave. And that's not something that you want to build for your child. 7th, bring back important samskaras into life. In fact, in our Vedic households or Indian households, we used stories and anecdotes and so many ways to teach the child good samskaras, good values, and good Maryada, boundaries. Values and boundaries, or as we say, the samskaras and Maryada, are not installed by motivational lectures that we often use. They are created by daily rituals. There has to be repetition. Daily acts of puja, daily acts of namaskara, daily acts of exercise, daily acts of reading, daily chores, daily physical effort, daily respectful speech, daily finishing things, daily sticking to study schedules, daily memorizing things, daily applying things, daily gratitude for food, environment, resources, daily correction without any drama, daily improvement. That repetition is what turns the violent energy that children have. I'm not saying violence from that, violent energy in the sense that their energy is like completely exploding all the time. That this repetition, this tapas is what turns the child's daily violent energy into productive energy, into rituals that attunes the nervous system. So along with tapas, the values are going to be significant. The boundaries, the maryada is going to be significant in training the child. So if your child is trapped in bad habits at this point in time, don't ask this question: how do I stop this behavior? There are 5 deeper questions for you to ask. Ask, what reward is this behavior giving the child, and how do I replace that? What environment is supporting it? What routine is missing? What discomfort is the child avoiding? What better habit must replace it? That is when you will start getting some good answers. Bad habits are not removed by anger. They are not removed by lectures. They are removed by structure. Bad habits are also not going to get removed by panic or attacking. They are going to get removed by patience. Bad habits are not going to get removed by that one big correction, one big punishment. They are only going to get removed by daily abhyasa or daily maryada, daily samskaras. Modern children are not weak because they were born weak. Modern children are weak because we have chosen comfort, given excess value to comfort and indulgence in life than building character. We are creating a lot of entitlement in our children, because of which they are becoming argumentative and weak. Change the rhythm at home and you will change the way the child is. Hope you can make some good choices and make some serious changes in your parenting. In fact, at the end of this video, I must also say this, that all the things that I talked about of the bad habits, these equally apply to today's adult life, because we have weakened our own characters also with all the comforts that we have piled down around us. So hope this also helps us make, each one of you make good choices in life. I'll see you very soon. Till then, take care and make good choices with your life. Thank you.